Welcome to Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, a mother-daughter podcast on all things magic and pop culture. Three, two, one, and we're on.
We're on.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
I'm Leigh, I'm the daughter.
I'm Lori. I'm the mom.
You're the mom.
The mom.
What's happening?
I try to inflect my voice each week, so I
Do you?
Yeah.
Keep everyone on their toes, or
I
what?
like to keep everybody on their toes. Yeah. I don't want to get. I don't want it to get boring.
I was listening to some older episodes again.
Were you?
And I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
We were so shy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No. After you let Helen Reddy rip for all to hear, there's nothing to be shy about.
There's nothing to be shy about. You guys are our family and our best friends, and
There you go.
you can, be let in on all of our secrets. It's fine. So what's going on? What's new?
What's happening? Nothing. I have finals this week.
How's that? Do you feel like a kid again saying that? I have finals this week.
No, because I don't remember them being this trying and taxing.
Really?
No, and the Virgo in me I'm not a good tester. I don't test well.
Oh, really?
No, because we're control freaks and we're perfectionists.
Right.
So, when the teacher says, I want you to know all 20,000 of these facts, although I'm only going to ask you 15 of them.
You'll learn all 20,000.
I think I need to know all 20,000. And, there's just not enough time in the day. And I'm getting older, and I just don't think my cabeza takes in.
Oh, come on. You're still sharp.
Again, I always reference, what is it, Dreamcatcher.
Right.
And he's moving the boxes because there's just no more room in the brain.
Oh, you're doing great, sweetie.
out.
You're
Thanks.
going to do fine.
Yeah,
Everyone send out some, well wishes to Laura. I also have a final, but I'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you're doing stuff that you're doing stuff for your field. I'm still in the prerequisite phase, so I'm kind of
It's harder when you're not interested.
Snorefest.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about math, as we all know.
Exactly.
As you will remember.
As I will remember, yes. Not my favorite either.
Right.
So
I noticed you're wearing an Elvis Presley sweatshirt today, and I would like to talk about it.
I am. This is officially from Graceland.
From the Graceland.
From the Graceland.
Okay.
And it says Merry Christmas from Graceland.
And it has Elvis's face on the back.
Yes, it does.
Every time I turn around and I look at you, I'm like, Elvis.
There's the king in all of his glory. Yeah, because, as you very well know, and I'm going to get it on tape right now.
Oh, no.
Because I've not been able to document Jacob telling me what's on my bucket list. What do I want to do?
You want to go to Graceland for Christmas?
Yes. Jacob told me that he will go.
He did. He said it. And then guess what? A pandemic hit.
I need some confirmation, Jacob.
Jake was saved by the pandemic.
Pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to me.
He didn't have to go to Graceland.
No, I will go to Graceland. But I want it on record that I do not like Elvis.
But he will not wear an Elvis shirt. He will not,
There will be no merch.
There will be no merch. He will not eat a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Oh my, that's sacrilege.
Well, he's going to go.
I know. So, I've been to Graceland several times.
Yes.
But I have not been there at Christmas. And Elvis's love of the Christmas season. And,
Right.
Graceland is all lit up.
I'm sure it's
And
pretty magical.
festive and magical.
Oh my God, should we record an episode there?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
kind of fun.
Down in the jungle room.
I
Ooh.
don't think they'd let us. We'd
Walking to
probably get
Memphis.
tackled.
Oh, maybe.
Isn't it like,
Wonder if his recording equipment still. No, I mean when you tour, you can go down in the jungle
okay.
room. Yeah, no, just not upstairs to his bedroom.
Well, that does seem a little private.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still like all the same.
I
Like,
mean,
have they touched it?
I don't know if they've made offices upstairs or why it's secluded. Maybe, but the whole downstairs is exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of fun, kind of creepy.
I know.
Right?
So, yeah. So that is my my dream is to go to Graceland at Christmas.
Put it out there, manifest it.
Putting it out there, taking the travel bus. We're heading to Graceland.
We should literally start like an Uncle Bob's tour where everyone can just get on a bus and just go to all of the Uncle Bob's locations that we've talked about.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. I thought you were just talking about us. I'm like, girl, I'm there.
No, we can bring our friends.
Oh yeah. It'll be the Magical Mystery Tour.
The Uncle Bob's Magical Mystery Tour. Okay, hold on.
We're on to something. I love
TM.
New band name.
New band name called it.
All right, cool.
All
so
right.
I know that we are talking about some really fun things today. So
yeah,
I think
so
we should
mine's
hop
going to
in.
be kind of long, and I'm a
Is
little
it?
nervous.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Good thing I have a beverage.
Yeah, I have a beverage. I'm going to wet my whistle a little bit and calm down because I'm a little nervous.
Are
I don't
you?
know why.
Why are you nervous?
Because when it's like a big lore that has a lot of history to it, I want to get it right.
Right.
And right now, we've talked about this isn't our only jobs. We don't have like all the time in the world to research.
Yeah.
And sometimes
wish
I'm like,
we
damn
did.
it. Yeah, I wish I had more time.
Right. And it's like there's so much information. We dive in deep and there's pages and pages and pages of information. And then we have to go back through and painstakingly piece together, the good tidbits.
Right. And so this was definitely one of them where like I could have kept going.
And hard to make
It was hard to make the Kit Cuts.
Kit Kats.
Kit Kat.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what
Kit
that
Kat,
is.
Kit Kat.
It's a new word.
It happened. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Krampus.
I'm really excited about it because I don't know a lot about Krampus.
Oh, really?
I know the basics.
The general.
I know the general, but I don't know.
Okay, so I thought I knew. It turns out I didn't. So.
Oh, really?
Right,
Okay.
that was part of this. So
Wow.
I'm going to talk about the lore of Krampus through the 2015 horror comedy film entitled Krampus.
Krampus.
Me and Jake watch this every Christmas.
Yes,
It's like part of our tradition.
Yeah, because it has the guy that's in.
Okay.
Oh, shut it.
yes.
Should I shut up? No.
Well, here's the cast. Okay, so it was directed by Michael Dougherty.
Okay.
Dougherty? No, Dougherty. I
Dougherty.
had it right the first time. I should have shut my son of a bitch. I was so close.
So close.
I always just have to go there. Okay, the cast is, Adam Scott. Plays
From Parks and Rec, right?
Yes, and he's like on my top 5 actor list. Like
Is he really?
I adore him.
Yeah, because you think you're him. Like, he has a lot of your qualities.
So his character
in
in
that
Parks
character,
and
yeah.
Recreation, I'm very much Ben Wyatt. But he's in some other things. Like, I just think that he's awesome.
Yeah.
And he seems like a cool dude. So he's like on my top list. So
He's
yeah,
anxious.
Adam Scott plays Tom Angle, the dad. And it also has Toni Collette in it.
I love Toni
I
Collette.
know you do.
Oh, yes.
As Sarah Angle, she's the mom. MJ Anthony is Max. The young son, Stephania LaVie Owen, I hope I got that right, is Beth Angle, the sister. Krista Sadler is Omi Angle, the grandmother, and Luke Hawker is Krampus.
All right.
There's a big cast. There's many more. But that's like,
Yeah.
the MVPs.
That's most valued players, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, 2015. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown. I'm not going to like go into every crucial detail because it's funny, it's cute, it's a good holiday movie,
Right.
and I think you should watch it. And my lesson is a little hefty today.
Okay, all right.
Are you ready?
I am so ready. I'm excited about it.
Are you strapped into the coaster?
I'm strapped in and ready to roll.
All right, let me take a sip. Hold on, here's some
Take a
ASMR. Okay. That was my sip. Jake made me a Moscow Mule.
Jake is liking to, create some, fun beverages for us.
Yeah, we got to keep it,
Keep it interesting.
keep it interesting around here. Okay, so the rundown of Krampus. Okay, the story follows the Angle family right before Christmas. So like, I don't know, the 5 days leading up to Christmas or whatever. It's the mom and dad, brother and sister, and grandmother all live in the house.
Okay.
Family is coming in to visit. I think it's the sisters. No. Nope. It's the mother's side of the family.
Okay.
Okay, so the mother's like sister
Okay.
is coming in.
Okay.
In-laws, whatever. I don't know. Family's f***ing coming in.
So one of those family people.
Right. They're not excited about it.
Oh. Okay.
They don't get along.
Oh. It's always the best way to spend the holidays, right? With people
Right.
that you don't want to be with.
Yeah, everyone's kind of dreading it. I'm pretty sure it's the mother, so Toni Collette's character. I think it's her sister and like her family. Jake is giving me the thumbs up, so woohoo, nailed it.
Yes.
And those two don't get along.
Oh.
So there's some going on there.
A little animosity.
Yes, so everything is hectic. It's kind of a big mess. Max, so the young son, just wants a happy, picturesque holiday filled with family time and traditions, but that's not what's happening here.
Right.
Which,
hello.
Ain't that a bitch?
Every family at Christmas.
Welcome to growing up.
Yeah, right.
Realizing that the holidays just aren't what you
show.
The holidays that you see on TV, kids. It's not. I mean, maybe someone out there has the picturesque holiday.
Maybe.
Do you think?
I don't know.
I never thought about it.
Nobody that I know.
Nobody that I know either.
No, please, if you do, share with us.
And congratulations.
Yeah.
You did it. Oh my God.
You are the minority.
I know. You nailed it. Okay. So Max writes a letter to Santa and the cousins find it and make fun of him and are picking on him because he still believes in Santa. Basically, they're fucking assholes, right? Max freaks out and says basically f all y'all and hides upstairs.
Okay.
The dad, Adam Scott, tries to comfort him, telling him to never stop believing and hands him his letter back. And is like, you should always love your family.
Jesus.
What?
No couth.
How uncouth. Get over it.
All right, proceed.
Okay. A little bit later, a huge blizzard hits the town.
Uh-oh.
And the power goes out, and it seems like the neighborhood is kind of empty. So something weird's happening. The sister Beth sneaks out to go see her boyfriend, but gets chased down by something large that we don't see.
In the middle of a blizzard? She's sneaking out?
She's like, I just want some holiday loving. I don't know.
And probably high heels and fishnets or something.
Oh.
Does she? What?
No.
I always love when these girls go outside in the middle of a snowstorm and
they're wearing a skirt.
And it's I'm like,
aren't you cold?
Give me the freaking Alaskan Malamute and, I don't care what I look like. I just want to be warm and toasty.
I'm not trying to look good. Just give me my leg warmers.
Like when I was a kid, my mom put Town Talk bread things on my feet to keep them dry.
Yeah, we're all about comfort in this house. I don't know what she looked like. I wasn't paying attention. She's going to see her boyfriend. He doesn't live far away.
Oh, okay.
He lives in the neighborhood.
A few homes over.
So like I said, she was attacked by something very large that we don't see.
Okay.
So some of them, I think it's the dad and the uncle, leave the house to try to find her. They go to the boyfriend's place to try to find her, but the house is completely empty. It's torn to shreds, and there are large, hoof prints. Is that right?
Hooves.
Hooves.
One hoof.
Hoof.
Two hooves.
Hooves. Hoof prints. No. Did I get it?
Hooves.
Hoof prints. Motherfucker. God, I always feel really smart and confident, and then we sit down to do this, and I'm like, no, it's gone.
Sometimes I do too, and then I listen to the episode back, and I think, my God, where do I know how to speak English? Because what?
What came out of my mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, hoof prints. That doesn't sound right.
Hoof prints.
I said that.
Just go.
Okay. As they're going back home, they are also attacked by something that we don't see. Okay.
Yeah. Is there jingle bells or something? No. Shut
Not
up.
yet.
Oh, okay.
Shut your mouth.
Shut it.
They board up the windows when they get back home, which ends up being a mistake. Chaos ensues when a gingerbread man, an actual little gingerbread who's alive, attacks the family. This movie's goofy.
Was he as big as a cookie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not a large gingerbread
well,
man.
sometimes you have gingerbread men decor outside,
a
lawn ornament.
No. He was an actual fucking cookie.
Okay.
Attacks them. This movie that's what you should know going in. Is it's supposed to be goofy.
Okay, you're right.
Like I said, horror comedy. It's
ludicrous.
It's an actual
not
cookie.
The rapper.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay, go.
Okay. Everyone is like, what the is going on? So Omi, the grandmother, decides to explain what's happening because she has an idea.
Okay.
She is from Germany, and she begins to tell a story about her childhood. Okay. She's like, once upon a time.
Way
And you're like, oh, She explains that when she was little, there was no Christmas spirit because of the war going on in Europe. So, like, everyone was poor and no one was feeling the holiday spirit, you know? When she finally let go of all hope, Krampus, who is an ancient demonic spirit, was summoned and took all of her family away to hell. That escalated quickly.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
It escalated quickly.
Very quickly.
Okay.
All right.
But he left her there. She didn't have to go to hell.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. In the family's place, he left a golden bell. There's your bell.
Okay.
With his name on it for her to keep. So, I took your family, but here's a fucking bell.
Here's a bell for you.
You're welcome.
Oh, my.
Everyone is like, okay, yeah, whatever, Grandma. Like, what are you talking about?
Quit drinking the eggnog.
Cool it. But then shit starts really hitting the fan. So creepy toys, devilish gingerbread men, and weird shit starts to attack the whole family.
Okay.
Like weird Jack-in-the-Boxes. And it's funny.
The toys come alive.
But also it's kind of creepy. Like low-key kind of creepy.
I think I've seen it once.
Yeah.
I watched it with you.
It's silly. A bunch of them get taken away until just Max is left. He confronts Krampus, who is like, shut up, and gives him a bell. So you know where we're going here.
We see what,
But then Max apologizes and says that he does love his family and that he just wanted a nice Christmas and that he's really sorry for losing the spirit and tearing up his letter. But Krampus still picks him up and tosses him into the fire pit of hell.
Oh, my. Alrighty then.
Yeah, don't let your kids watch this one. What is it, rated R? I don't know.
Your kids will be afraid to go to sleep at night.
They'll be terrified. Oh, my gosh. But then Max opens his eyes and finds that he's in his house on Christmas morning with his entire family.
It was all a dream?
So he thinks that it was all a dream.
Okay.
But he sits down to open a present, and what he opens is the bell. And then when everyone sees the bell, they all remember what had happened the night before. And the camera pans out and shows the whole family in their house in a snow globe in the midst of a bunch of other snow globes in like Krampus's house. So he's watching them.
Yeah, creepy.
Dun, 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 and that's the end of Krampus.
Oh, well, that's creepy.
I said horror comedy.
Yeah,
I told you. But I mean, so
fun, festive for the whole family.
Merry Christmas. So my lesson is Krampus. So we're going to talk about, because Krampus is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
and so we're going to talk about that.
Okay, I don't know a lot about him, so I'm interested.
Well. He gives you a bell. No,
he gives you a bell and steals your whole family. All right.
And throws them to hell.
That's all I need to know.
Right. All right. So the folklore is mainly from Central Europe, originating in Germany and or Austria, depending on
what you read.
I was receiving both answers, basically. So most of my research is going to be focusing there. Okay, because I think the lore changes a smidge depending on where you're looking. So that is what I mainly researched. So Krampus comes from the German word Krampen, which translates to clamp or claw. Again, I was getting differing answers there, but mostly what I was reading was that it comes from the word claw, and it's because he had, he's mean. He has claws.
Okay. I often wondered that because I was like, cramp?
Cramp, ooh.
I have a cramp.
And then clamp, because he snatches you.
Clamp, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I want to talk about the pagan origins here. Okay. So he is thought to be part of winter solstice rituals. But this is kind of unclear.
Okay.
So I read a bunch of stuff saying that the origins were based in pagan traditions. However, there's not documentation of this. Okay. So I wasn't getting a lot of information about what the rituals consisted of or where he showed up.
Right.
However, so here's what I did find. It is said that he embodies the darkness/fear aspect of Yule.
Okay.
But he wasn't necessarily bad.
Okay.
In the pagan tradition. Okay. So some say he was morphed from the horned god, which is a dualistic god representing light and dark, and who is mainly associated with nature, wilderness, and the life cycle. So here's a little background on the winter solstice.
Yes.
Okay. It's also known as Yule.
Yes.
And it falls on December 21st.
Correct.
It is the longest night and the shortest day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. So it is about the cycle of death and rebirth, and it welcomes back the light and the sun and a new year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like acknowledging everything that has come before, but getting ready to go on to the new. And God, don't we all need that right now?
Hells yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye, 2020.
Yeah, for real. So it is a time to celebrate the beginning of the end of the dark season and to get ready for the sun's return.
Yes.
So symbols of Yule that you recognize from Christmas. Okay. Mistletoe.
Yes.
Holly. Evergreen. Pine. The colors red, green, and gold. Yule logs. Hello.
Hello. And not the cake either.
Oh my God, yeah. I always see that on the
know.
Christmas
Like, I
baking
want one.
championship. I want a Yule log.
I want a Yule log.
Caroling, decorating the tree, candles, wreaths, and I read something about elves that I'm a little upset about.
Really?
Yes, because I did elves a
just
few
did it,
episodes ago, and here's what I pulled a direct quote. So it says, elves first became associated with Yule because the ancients knew that the spirits that created the sun inhabited the land of elves. By including elves in the Yule celebrations, the ancients believed they were assuring the elves assistance in the coercion of the sun to return.
Oh, interesting. That makes complete sense.
It does, but when I was doing...
You didn't see that.
I did not see anything about that. So now I'm like, what the f***?
What the heck? Yeah, but that makes complete sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much validity is in that. I only saw that once. Like it came across my eyes once, and I was studying this for hours.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to note that because I'm like,
yeah,
that was left out of my elf episode.
That makes complete sense.
Okay, so back to Krampus. With the spread of Christianity, he was morphed into a more demonic figure. And became more associated with like the holiday of Christmas.
Right.
So Saint Nicholas is the patron saint of children. I'm not going to go too deep into him because I've got some issues with his tale. However, he's important to understand Krampus's like how we know Krampus today. Right. So Saint Nicholas Day falls on December 6th, depending on where you are. It might be December 5th.
Right.
December 6th was what I was getting mainly. So children would leave their shoes in front of their fireplace or outside by their front door. And in the morning find candies or little gifts inside them if they were good. If they were good.
If they were good.
However,
if not,
if you were naughty, you would hear from his menacing counterpart, Krampus. He is described as a half-man, half-goat, demon-like creature.
Gee, how they scare those kids into behaving, right?
My God, for real. I was like, what? He has hoofs, horns of a goat. I'm just going to move on. He's furry. He has a long pointed tongue and fangs. I love Googling like pictures of Krampus. They're fascinating to me.
Funny.
They're so funny.
Yeah. Thank goodness we transitioned just to a lump of coal.
I know, right? So he wears baubles, bells, and chains so you can hear him coming, and he usually has a basket or bag on his back, and I'll get to that. If you were naughty, he will swat you with a birch stick.
Yep.
So normally in pictures of him, you see him with like a bag of sticks.
That's funny not to like swing in there, but you know the next phase of the moon is the birch moon, like after Yule, which is
I thought you would find that interesting. I never knew that it was specifically like a birch stick. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
If you were really bad, he's going to stuff you in that basket and take you to hell.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
It really escalates.
Wow.
Like quickly. He's like, no, you're going to come back to hell with me. So Krampus Night or Krampus Nacht is December 5th. So St. Nicholas Eve.
Yes.
And you will wake up the next day on St. Nicholas Day to either find presents or nurse your wounds.
From getting the beat out of you with a birch stick.
With a birch stick by a fucking horned demon.
Nice.
My God. Or you wake up in hell. Maybe you were dragged to hell.
No wonder, kids needed to behave themselves. They would rather get presents.
Yeah, so we actually heard from a listener about this. So yeah, I'm getting to that. Okay. Right. So I have a book, and if you remember Kathy Morrissey from our guest episode, she gifted it to me, so thank you. It is called The Krampus and the Old Dark Christmas, Roots and Rebirth of the Folkloric Devil. And I highly recommend it if you were interested in this at all.
Learning about it.
It's like a 300-page book. This is where I was talking, like, I wish I could have gone deeper.
Yeah.
And he goes all into,
Next year.
He says that Krampus is not one
entity.
It's like a...
Many.
Like the Mothman, like the Krampus. So
like the Banshee who, one Banshee for each clan.
Yes. So I thought that was interesting. I did pull some direct quotes from the book. So he suggests that Krampus began as a symbol of the dark side of Yule. So you can't have light without the dark. And that's what Yule is celebrating. Right?
It sure is.
It's more extensive, but again, you'd have to read the book. He also suggests that Krampus is now a Christmas symbol for counterculture, and that he represents rebellion from norms. He has become like the anti-Santa.
Right.
So
Anti-Santy.
Anti-Shanty. Oh, I like that. New band name called it. So here's a direct quote from the book that I found relevant. Christmas requires the darkness. Every child understands that it's only at midnight the Christmas mystery unfolds. The holiday we've spun from sugar plums and annual TV specials can't exist without those dark edges where imagination blooms. Not by chance, it aligns with the long black night of the solstice and nature's last breath.
Love it.
Right? And so that's what Krampus is kind of representing. Yeah. So St. Nicholas would be the light and Krampus would be the dark. I find that very interesting.
Well, it's very interesting, and not to, get into plants, but we had this conversation about the elderberry. That's why elder is a symbol of Yule and a plant that we use at Yule because it also represents, again, the duality of light and dark, beginnings and endings. Yeah.
I love that. And so that is apparently, from my research, and it in my mind, what Krampus is meant to represent is just the duality. The flip side.
Yeah.
And he might beat you with a birch stick.
With a birch stick.
That's awful.
But that's only, bringing in the renewal of the light.
Right.
Because birch is the following, I
mean, obviously when Christianity came in, he's meant to scare you into doing what they want, kind of. But, so side notes, many festivals revolve around Krampus. There is a festival/parade in Austria called Krampusloaf. Krampusloaf. I don't know.
Loaf.
Which translates, I believe, to Krampus Run.
Guest starring Meatloaf.
Krampus Loaf, guest starring Meatloaf.
He's headlining.
He headlines the festival. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Oh, Can you imagine Meatloaf dressed in a Krampus costume, though? I'd sign up. I'd watch it. I'd watch it right now.
Yeah.
So it's like a Krampus run where a bunch of people dress up as Krampus and they go for a run, like a parade.
Really?
Basically, yeah. There are Krampus Nacht festivals now, pretty much everywhere. They're popping up in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what are you laughing about? What?
I was laughing about the time we saw Joe Biden at the St. Patrick's Day parade and he was running through the parade. And he's taking a run, just waving.
He was literally jogging. I saw a split second of him. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, good.
And there you
go.
Just
reminded me of, if he was in a Krampus outfit, it would have been even better.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, we really took a turn there, but I liked it.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Okay, so there's Krampus Nacht. I remember when we lived in Pittsburgh, there you could go to one in Market Square.
Oh, yeah.
It's December 5th.
Nice.
Is Krampus Nacht. Krampus Nacht.
I like it.
I did want to debunk something from what I have read. So through my research, many times it kept popping up that Krampus was the son of Her, I think, Her, a Nordic goddess of the underworld. Her.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Har.
Probably Har. That was made up.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was I think someone wrote that as like a kind of like a fantasy thing, and then people like took it and ran with it. So as far as I can tell, debunked. Everyone call Zach Bagans. I have just debunked something.
I've debunked it. There you go.
The last thing I want to mention is that we had a listener when I posted that we were doing Krampus. She messaged me, and I took the exact quote because I just thought it was too good. Her handle is Zaratak. And they said, "Hells yes, I'm Armenian but grew up in Germany. St. Nicholas always came to kindergarten with Krampus and an angel. He scared the bejeebers out of me because he always came with a bunch of sticks and a bag of coal. If you were on the bad list, you got a spanking and a piece of coal for Christmas. However, that never happened because the people dressing up as Krampus were either parents or friends of parents." I thought that was interesting.
Wow, that is interesting.
Like, Krampus is very much a part of...
Yeah. The culture.
Yeah. I thought that was so interesting.
That is interesting.
So thank you for...
I would have probably shit my pants as a kindergartner,
Krampus
coming in.
One side of me would have been like, this is totally fucking cool. And oh my God, yeah, take me to hell.
You're like, I'm not bad, so it's not me. I'm good.
I'm good, man. Can I be your
Johnny?
Can I be your sidekick? And then the other side of me would have been shitting my pants. So, but yeah, that's Krampus. There's a lot of things that I stumbled upon specifically in that book I mentioned that go into more of like where he came from, but it's kind of like up in the air. Like it's not really known.
Many different stories.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mishmash of a bunch of different things.
It's a bunce.
It's a bunce.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I find that so fascinating, and just fascinating from the herbal lore of Yule and how it plays together. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, it's super cool, right?
I love that.
Yeah, so if you're interested, go watch Krampus. It's a funny movie. We watch it every Christmas Day as part of our Yule celebration. And go learn more about Krampus.
Yes.
And I want to hear your opinions because I think it's a super cool lore. And I want to hear your opinions.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so with that, we have to hear from our sponsor.
Awesome.
This episode is sponsored by Lavender and Loon, maker of luxury candles inspired by pop culture. Our good friend Alex was looking for a creative distraction from the world when she was hit with the idea to combine two of her passions, candles and pop culture magic. With that, Lavender and Loon was born. All candles are handmade, hand-poured, and 100% soy wax. We were lucky enough to get our hands on some, and let me just tell you, they are divine. They smell incredible, look gorgeous, and burn for roughly 40 hours. We have them scattered all throughout the Uncle Bob studio, no joke. So, if you're looking for some candle magic to brighten up your new year, make sure to check out Lavender and Loon at the link in our show notes. Thanks, Alex. We love you, girl.
Okay, so I am up.
You're up to bat, girl.
So let me just ask you one question. What is your favorite adaptation of A Christmas Carol?
Of A Christmas Carol? Mm-hmm. I prefer Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And people have asked us to do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's definitely got to be done. But, I could not do that until...
You had to have an intro.
I had to have my favorite.
Oh, God.
So...
I know what you're doing.
Sit back, Leanne, because I know you don't like this one. But
no.
My favorite adaptation of A Christmas Carol. This screams Christmas to me and is so ingrained in my traditions is Scrooge.
Is it Albert Finney?
It is Albert Finney.
Oh, no.
The 1970 British musical film filmed in London with an all-British cast, which I absolutely love. And you know what the best part about it is?
What?
It's a freaking musical.
You don't even like musicals.
I love musicals. What are you talking about?
Okay, everyone, here's a little backstory. Ever since I was little, she has made me watch this movie.
Oh my God.
And she has made me watch it and string popcorn and cranberries and put cloves in oranges. And now that I'm saying it, I sound like an asshole, and you're a lovely mother, and I'm glad that we've had those times to share. However, this movie is awful.
It is the best. It's the absolute best. So I, from a young age, I don't know, well, kind of when I started doing my research, but I have absolutely loved Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol from the time I was very little.
Really?
Yeah, I've been collecting the books, anything I can find. Like I have memorabilia, like, you know, tchotchkes, the tchotchke
You
queen
love a
over
tchotchke.
here. With A Christmas Carol. I just absolutely love this story. It has always just spoken to my heart. So this one in particular is my favorite. It is a musical. It has 11 musical numbers.
11?
It does. And it was actually, shame on you, nominated for 4 Academy Awards.
But we've established here at Uncle Bob's that the Academy doesn't know what the they're talking about. So
in this case, they did.
Okay.
They did.
All right.
I don't know who was on the board that year, but good choices, good choices. So again, so the musical numbers, musical, you know.
Top notch.
Musical perfection here with songs like Father Christmas, December the 25th, Thank You Very Much, which was nominated for an Academy Award.
I'm singing it in my head
now.
right now.
Are you? Happiness, I Hate People.
Hey, did I write that one?
So definitely, so starring Albert Finney, who, rest in peace, passed away in 2019. I absolutely love him. I love him in Big Fish. I love him. He was in Annie. He was in Aaron Brockovich.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got some hits on his list.
He sure does. So he plays Ebenezer Scrooge. And I'm probably going to butcher this because if you did not know, I do not know anything about Star Wars. So
Star Wars.
Sir Alec Guinness plays Bob Marley, and I believe that he was Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. Is that right?
I have no idea.
I do not know anything
about Star Wars. But when you said
Wars.
Bob Marley, I pictured Bob Marley. I was like, wait.
Did I say Bob Marley?
You said Bob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
I was like, wait.
a Rastafarian ghost. Oh my God. Can you see Bob Marley as Jacob Marley?
I just trust you so much that I was like, yeah, Bob Marley.
God. Well, you know, I was singing a little Bob Marley in my head earlier, so I can see how I got the confused.
I literally imagine Bob Marley as the ghost wearing
it's kind of like
coming to say Scrooge.
My Lenny James.
Lenny James on the Vespa. That will never leave my head.
Oh my God.
I love you for this.
Jacob Marley. And of course, we're talking about the book based on, Scrooge is based on the book, A Christmas Carol by Mr. Charles Dickens.
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol.
You sounded like the sweaty balls lady.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
So I love this book. I love Charles Dickens. He also wrote Oliver Twist, Tale of Two Cities, Nicholas Nickleby.
Okay, did he really?
David Copperfield, Great Expectations. I mean, this guy.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know a lot about him.
Yeah. I mean, he is one of the all-time great writers. I absolutely just love Charles Dickens.
I didn't know that he wrote all of those other things. I'm not going to lie about it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
So this translated, A Christmas Carol actually translated. No wonder I've loved it. It's so funny. We talked about this with the Lorax. When you're a kid, you don't know, but it leads you to this translated was called A Ghost Story of Christmas.
Ooh, hello. I love that.
No wonder I loved it.
Love a ghost story.
Interesting enough, it was first published in London in 1843.
Whoa.
Released on December 19th and sold out before Christmas Eve. And since 1844, this book has never been out of print.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into the story because I would imagine that everybody, this book has been adapted so many times. I mean, we could go on and on and on about all of my loves of A Christmas Carol, but, so here's the plot.
I was going to say, give me a little rundown.
This is a story about Ebenezer Scrooge, an elderly miser who is visited by the ghost of his former partner, Jacob Marley.
Bob Marley.
A.K.A. Bob.
I'm sorry, I'm never gonna be able to see it. I'm just gonna picture Bob Marley as the ghost.
Oh my gosh. Who died 7 years ago this very day.
Wow.
So he is told that he will be visited by 3 spirits: the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Ooh.
Following these visits, Scrooge becomes a kinder, gentler man.
Yeah, so he's a
He is
he's a
douche of
douchebag.
epic proportion.
So I think that's interesting. Like, that's where the term being a Scrooge came from.
You would not believe how many traditions of Christmas come from Charles Dickens.
Really?
Yeah. Dancing.
Dancing.
Feasting, like dancing and singing. And
Charles Dickens created dancing.
Like the tradition,
Yeah.
skinflint from the book, like
that?
because he always called Scrooge a skinflint, miserly, like a penny pincher,
So like a skin flute.
No, Jacob, dirty. But a lot of the traditions that we celebrate today came from, and we'll talk about, where that came from.
So I should shut up. Okay.
Shut it. So I'm going to talk about this movie because to me, when I read the book, A Christmas Carol, which I have read, unlike the Harry Potter movies, this rendition, this adaptation just leaps out of the book. I feel like it just, in my mind and in my heart, is like it's what Christmas is all about. So it opens up. Again, being an all British cast, I love that because it's a book that was written
So they're being authentic to the story.
So they're being very authentic. So, and they're very good on the time period. It opens up to carolers caroling, singing a song. And of course, they're going and they're singing and people were throwing them a little treat. And then he gets to Scrooge's door. And of course, he runs them off and he's like, oh, they're like, this must be Father Christmas. And, they sing a tune. But then, so they go along. We see 2 other important characters. His nephew, Fred, which is his only living relative, comes to invite him to Christmas dinner. And he says, bah humbug, which is another word that comes from, and he doesn't believe, he doesn't celebrate. He's miserable. He's just sitting there counting his money. And he says to his nephew, what do you have to be merry about? Because he keeps telling him Merry Christmas, and he doesn't want to hear that word. And he says, what do you have to be merry about? You're poor enough. Ooh. And he says, well, what do you have to be miserable about? You're rich enough.
Boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted. And we see his clerk, Bob Cratchit, sitting over there like, freezing to death because he won't let him put an extra coal on the fire because that costs money. So Fred leaves. He tells him he's not coming to Christmas dinner. Bob Cratchit asks if he can have the day off, and, he's not happy about that, but he lets him have it, and he goes home, and he gets to his door, and this part has always, creeped me the heck out, is the door knocker turns into...
Bob Marley? No.
Jacob Marley's face. You see Bob Marley on the door knocker. And he goes in the house, and it's, again, there's a lot of creepiness in this movie. It's very scary. You know what I mean? And when you look at what they put on television, because they play it every year on television, there's 2 key scenes that are not usually shown on the television versions. Okay. So he goes into the house, and there's this ghost carriage that comes by, like a hearse. And the guy tips his hat. He's a ghost, and he's like, evening, governor. And it's so creepy. But his house is not... not well kept for as
not
rich as he
styled
is.
well.
It's no designer there. He goes up, he's eating his soup. He sees Bob Marley. Bob Marley basically, again, I'm calling him Bob Marley. I can't not say it now. Jacob Marley. You think I know that because, oh my God.
I should have just let you.
Now it's in my head. Now it is in my head. Oh, embarrassing. Anyway, he basically tells him that, he's not been leading a good life. Before he got home, he was, approached by two people collecting for the poor. And he said, I'm not giving you any money. Let these people die. It will decrease the surplus population. And then he goes to the people in the market who are trying to, make a living. And it's, people are poor, and he's going to take their shops and take their belongings. So Jacob Marley tells him, basically, you're not living a good life, dude. You're kind of an asshole, and you're creating, you're going to hell. Basically, you're going to hell.
Krampus is going to take you to hell.
Krampus is taking you to hell if you keep living this, living like this and being a jerk.
Right.
So you're going to be visited by three spirits, and
they're going to try to whip you into shape.
They're going to try to wake your ass up.
Right.
The first one is the Ghost of Christmas Past, which is, I love the scenes of this, and I'm not going to go into all of this, but he's back at school as a kid, and it's just beautiful. You see them out, on a sleigh or wagon, and they're having a party and all the snow. It's just, the costumes are beautiful. The music is beautiful. I love it. And I love when they go to Mr. Fezziwig's when he's like an adult. And they have the big party, and he meets Isabel, who then is going to become his wife.
Oh.
And we see that she ends up leaving him because basically he decides that money is more important than her.
Ouch.
And it's actually interesting in this movie because it's the first time in all of these scenes that you see young Albert Finney in that he actually speaks when she leaves him and, says, I'm giving you your freedom. You actually hear him speak. But up until that point, he never really verbalized in the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then we see the next ghost, who's the Ghost of Christmas Present.
I love the Ghost of Christmas Present.
I love
in every adaptation. I love him.
This one, especially his headpiece, his gear.
He's so pretty.
The opulence of the decorations, the light, the glitter, the food. It is just the cinematography, and
I'll give you that.
So awesome. But he gives him a drink and tells him he goes, this is delicious. I've never tasted this before. And he goes, no, you wouldn't. It's the milk of human kindness.
Oh,
he's like, you wouldn't have tasted that before.
Because you're a
You're kind of a and so he kind of takes him to Bob Cratchit's house, who is his clerk and has been for a long time, and realizes that what he's paying him,
he can't survive.
He can't survive. His family is poor. They can't even celebrate Christmas. His son is sick, Tiny Tim, who talk about, I can't get out of my head, looks like Shelley Long from Cheers. This kid, I don't know why. He really does. He really does. I'm like, that's Shelley Long.
Shelley Long and Bob Marley. The cast
together again. But so he realizes that if Tiny Tim doesn't get some help, he's not going to make it. And so on and so forth. And then he takes him to his nephew's house, who's having a big party, and kind of tries to show him, like, this is what you're missing, dude. This is a good time. These are great people.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of talking about what an asshole Scrooge is. And he goes, yeah, but I love him. He's my uncle. You know what I mean?
Ouch.
And so, I know. The third ghost, of course, is the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. And he, in almost every adaptation, never speaks. He really looks like the Grim Reaper.
Death.
He is death. He is the Grim Reaper. And he kind of is going to show him what's going to happen if he keeps living this lifestyle. What I love about this rendition is that he takes him to, like, where the town is.
Okay.
And they're outside of his building. He thinks that they're celebrating him. They're singing, thank you very much, This is the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. And he thinks that he's turned a corner and he's doing great things for the town. Well, really what happened was that he died, and they're just all so happy to get rid of him, but he doesn't know it. It's really good to watch it. That whole scene is great. But then he takes him to the graveyard. Tiny Tim is gone. It's not a good scene. And then we realize that Scrooge himself has bit the turf.
He's
Yeah.
yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. And so what you don't see usually when they air it on television is that he falls into the grave, and then they kind of cut to him waking up in his bedroom. But in the original version, he actually falls and ends up in hell. And he meets
with Krampus.
And he meets Jacob Marley again, and they've fashioned his chain for him, the chain that he's forged in life, link by link and yard by yard, by being mean. And he has to carry this chain. And then you kind of cut to him in his bedroom, kind of like being strangled by his bed sheets, but he has woken up. These 3 visitations from these ghosts have snapped him out of his whole attitude, and he's kind of like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be a nice guy. And again, we love it. He like goes and he gives Bob Cratchit, his family, a turkey, and he goes to the toy store and buys them all kinds of toys, and he raises their salary, and they're gonna get Tiny Tim well, and
all right,
all that good stuff. And then he goes to his nephew's house for dinner, but I absolutely love. This is my favorite adaptation of all time.
You love it.
I know, and you hate it. Like, you hate this one.
Well, it's just not... You know which one I love?
What?
The Mickey Mouse adaptation.
That's really funny.
And Jake loves the Muppets one.
I know, Jake does love the Muppets one.
I feel like it just wasn't my adaptation. Like, I like Scrooged because it's goofy and funny. And
I feel like the little shops in the town, and it's so quaint, and you see lots of candles, lots of pine. It's just so, more of a natural. It's not, like, over the top, like, commercially Christmas. You know what I mean? So I absolutely love that. Okay. I just love this rendition.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so just a couple tidbits of trivia from the movie.
Okay.
First, it is the first musical adaptation of A Christmas Story.
Really?
And also the first to be filmed in color.
Okay.
Due to legal complications, the soundtrack was never released on CD, which is a shame because
son of a
I love it. I love it.
Oh, God. Thank you for that.
Again, it was the first adaptation to receive Academy Award nominations and would not see another Academy Award nomination till 12 years later in 1983 with Mickey's Christmas Carol.
What did I just say? Mickey's Christmas Carol fucking rocked.
Oh my gosh, I know. So Dickens wrote the story during a period when the British were exploring and reevaluating Christmas traditions, such as caroling, which is interesting because the movie opens with the carolers.
Okay.
And then he was focusing heavy on new customs, such as Christmas trees. So at the time of writing this is when Christmas trees were coming into fashion. Before then, had not.
Interesting.
I know. So he was born to a middle-class family that got into some financial trouble. His father was actually put in debtor's prison, and it forced 12-year-old Charles Dickens to pawn all of his belongings and work in a rat-infested shoe factory. So his family's change in circumstances gave him a deeply personal opinion and social outrage of poverty and the treatment of the poor, which heavily influenced his work moving forward as a writer.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the treatment of the poor and the ability of a selfish man to redeem himself are the key themes of A Christmas Carol.
Right.
Because as we know, Christmas is all about the generosity of spirit, and so he tied it very well into that. And it is intended, how he wrote this, to open readers or watchers, if you're watching an adaptation, to open the readers' hearts towards those struggling to survive on the bottom rungs of the economic ladder, and warns of the terrible danger to society created by the toleration of widespread ignorance and actual want among the poor.
Oh,
Right? I didn't
No, I didn't know
delve
that.
that deep. And I was like, oh, and because he experienced it firsthand,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Wow.
But he came from middle class, but then was like, his circumstances changed and how quickly, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Right.
It makes sense.
It does. And a lot of his other books as well, you know?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So by mid-1843, Dickens was already an accomplished writer, but began to suffer financial difficulties, and he had a child, number 5, on the way.
It was. I thought you meant it was named number 5.
His child was named number 5. Yeah, his 5th child was on the way, and so he was panicking. And he began to write The Christmas Carol in 1843 and completed it in 6 weeks.
Whoa.
6 weeks. Now, there's a movie, 2017, called The Man Who Invented Christmas, which I absolutely loved. Absolutely loved. And it's all about his process in writing A Christmas Carol. So he is said to have, it's almost like this magical thing that came over him. He has completed it in 6 weeks and built much of the story completely in his head while he was taking nighttime walks of 15 to 20 miles throughout London.
Whoa. Why? Just for shits and gigs or what?
No.
Inspiration?
Just like that's how he wrote. Like that movie, The Man Who Invented Christmas, it was a really interesting watch to see how the characters formed in his head, and it was really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So just my last note is he was heavily influenced by Washington Irving, which we talked about, because he wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And I thought you would appreciate this. He owned a pet raven.
What?
Right? Which died unexpectedly. And he was telling the story to another author. And this author was inspired to write a book about a raven, or a poem about a raven. And his name was Edgar Allan Poe.
What the
Right?
Are you kidding?
No. True story. That's true.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
I love that.
So that's kind of my tale of
I have something for you.
Yeah.
When I was doing my research on Krampus and how he represents the dark side of Christmas, in that book that I mentioned, it goes on and on about how, what's his name?
Charles Dickens. Or Bob Marley. Or Bob Marley.
It went on and on about how Charles Dickens also represented the dark side of Christmas and how he showed both light and dark. Like there were there was a chapter on it. I was like, what the are fucking topics
again? Well, that's what I thought. I thought it was interesting. Our topics coinciding because you were talking about the evergreen, as a symbol of Yule, and then him focusing heavily. And again, in the movie, when you look at the cinematography, focuses heavy on Christmas trees because they were just coming of age. But that's definitely why evergreen is the symbol of Yule, is because when the people at that time were so afraid the sun disappeared and that life wasn't coming back, but the pine trees stayed green, and that was their symbol of hope for the sun to come back. So that's why evergreens figure so prominently, and
symbol of hope,
and that the sun will return. So
I love that.
Yeah, so I like the duality of the light and dark in both of our topics. It's great.
We nailed it again.
Woo!
We are always simpatico.
I know.
And we don't even know it.
We don't even try to do it.
That's cool.
I know.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, so did you learn something about Charles Dickens today?
I think that I have a greater appreciation for him. I will say. I didn't know, I hardly knew any of that.
Yeah.
Because it just never was my thing.
I would definitely watch The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Okay.
It was very good.
Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I think people will like that.
Yeah.
Way to go. Up top, Lore.
Yeah, up top, Leigh. Up tip, Leigh. Up tip, Leigh.
All right. Well, those were two very informative topics. So I hope that you had your notebook and pencil for that one.
Right on.
All right. With that, it is time for Killer Quotes of the Week.
Yes.
All right. Mine is, I am old enough to know when life is coming at me with its pants down. From Aunt Dorothy from Krampus, and that was sent in by Jenny S. Bradley.
Nice. All right. So, good news. I saw a dog today from Alf. Sent in by Nature Witch Ash. What? I don't remember them saying that in Elf.
So, good news. I saw a dog today. You just delivered it wrong.
Oh. Oh, right. Okay. I didn't get it.
Thank you, Nature Witch Ash. I liked that one.
All right.
That was good.
I liked it.
And we also have to shout out our newest patron, Willow Waters.
Yes.
Thank you for becoming a baby witch. And helping keep this dream alive. If you are interested in becoming a patron yourself, you can get all kinds of cool perks like a bonus episode a month and all kind of bloopers and some secret merch. Head to patreon.com/Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet.
Yes.
And if you want to be next week's Killer Quote of the Week, follow us on social media and we'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. I don't know why I said ew. Ew. Ew, David.
Ew, sissy. Did you see her butt?
That was so wrong in so many ways, but we're just going to let it slide. All right, everyone. We hope that you are, celebrating Yule and Christmas, and we hope that you're having a good week, and we'll see you next week for our Yule/Christmas episode.
Yes. TTFN.
All right, cut, print, check the gate. Moving on.